this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. So what am I riding today? Well, it's yellow. It's a Magicycle Deer Step Thru 20, which I'm just going to call the Deer 20. It's a little bit easier to say. So where are we headed today? Well, I figured we'd head out to Busse Woods. I don't think I've taken the Deer 20 to the Busse Woods before, so I figured, yeah, well, why not? Weather is pretty decent right now. Take a left over here. Weather's pretty decent right now. It's what's it at? It's 10:40 a.m. and it's about 69 degrees right now. And as you know, 70 degrees is my ideal temperature. So yeah, what time is it? 10:40. Yeah. So I figured this would be a good time to do it. I'm riding on, today is a Thursday, you'll probably see this on Friday, maybe even Saturday. I may split this into 2 videos. Sunday is our bike to drive video ride. I'll record that, and that's the one off of Lakeshore Drive, 30-mile ride on Lakeshore Drive. So hopefully, if I can edit that thing down, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday you might see it. We'll see how it goes. So it should be quite a bit of footage. I'm not going to show you all of it, obviously. It's way too long. But I may show you some of the highlights. So I figured I'd take the Deer 20 out now because it will be going out on that Sunday 30-mile ride. And I figured if I do Busse Woods, I should have decent mileage. Let me reset my trip meter. I didn't do that. Still set for the last time I had the trip meter set. Let me just pull off here. I always stop by a curb so that I can put my foot on the curb. Go to display, trip reset, say yes, it'll say cleared, go back, exit out. All right, trip at 0. So we'll see how we do. Now I have a second battery strapped to the rear. My front batteries has dropped down quite a bit. It shows 50%, so I'm going to have to switch batteries out. This bike, like other bikes, seems to I think drain the battery a little bit. Either that or I forgot to charge it up. I probably forgot to charge it up. So it's at 50% already now, so it's going to eventually die. We already know that. That's okay, because the one in the back is fully charged and it wasn't attached to anything. Hopefully that should get me back, right? These are 20 amp hour batteries, so yeah, I probably did not charge this. I probably, from the last time I took it, sometimes I don't charge the batteries up because I know it's just going to sit for a while, and it's not good to leave it charged fully. And I didn't get a chance to charge it this morning, so just out of the spur of the moment, I said, let's take the Deer 20. So yeah, it's not fully charged. It's okay. It'll drain down. We'll have no choice but to change out the battery. And of course, the faster you ride, and if you don't pedal, that's because they eat up more battery too. I'll pedal a little bit. The thing is, though, it is on a cadence sensor, and I'm not pedaling really hard. I'm just kind of keeping my legs moving. So really, I think that's really the same thing as if you put it on a throttle and left it at a certain speed. I don't think that you're really helping anything. If you got the resistance and you're pushing down on it, that's another story. You're actually adding some range that way because you're actually doing some work besides the battery doing all the work. But the battery is where it is at, so I could theoretically just throttle this thing at a slower speed. It does have cruise control. I could just let the cruise control take over. I have a gut feeling on that 30-mile ride, I'm going to probably do that. I'm probably going to try to keep it around 12 miles an hour, 12 to 15 miles an hour maybe at the most, and then just cruise control it for a good chunk of it. I know that. So whatever my legs can handle, that I'll do what I can do, but I can't do the continuous pedaling. Mrs. Wright, of course, will be continuously pedaling. I don't think daughter Wright will be doing it. I'm sure she's going to try to use the throttle as well to a certain amount. We'll see how she does. She has not ridden a bike in a long time. She tried an e-bike once. She came over and rode around the area, but that's about it, and she hasn't been on one since. So, you know, if you don't have the experience to do it, to do a 30-mile ride is going to be kind of tough. I mean, even if you could do it, you'd be cramping up like crazy. So, yeah, I expect that she'll probably throttle a certain amount. So I have my tools in the front basket. That weighs a lot because I have my Avis bike lock in there, plus a whole bunch of other things, tools and everything. That's got to be a good 10 plus pounds, 10, 12 pounds maybe. I don't know. I haven't measured. And then behind me is the secondary battery, strapped down with a couple of bungee cords. It's sitting in the box that it was shipped in. Don't throw those boxes away. If you buy a secondary battery, keep those boxes, because that'll help in terms of giving it some cushioning while it's strapped to the back of your bike. And a lot of those batteries come with some foam around it in the box. Keep that stuff too. Keeps the battery from bouncing around in the box. So now I do have some battery bags that Magicycle gave me. I have 2 of them, but we're taking 3 bikes. So my bike will have the battery strapped down like I have it now. I'll show you maybe a little bit later if I remember. And then the 2 Jaguar Rundies, the 52-volt Jaguar Rundies, will have their extra batteries on the battery bags and then strapped to the rear rack. As usual, Mrs. Wright will probably bring some waters and things, and she'll put that in her front basket. She doesn't like putting a bottle cage on her bikes. She says the bottle cages are always in her way when she hops off the bike when she's at a stop, because there's usually on the down tube, and she doesn't like that, so she prefers just to keep a standard water bottle, you know, just a standard plastic water bottle that you can buy at any store, and just puts that in a bag and sticks that in her front basket. Daughter Wright will probably do the same. So, all right. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a breeze today, so that's kind of nice. That's giving us a little bit of coolness. That's helping out. It's going to warm up today. So 10:47. So this is a little bit later than I usually would like to get out, but had things to do. Had to water the grass too. Usually we don't have automatic sprinklers, so we have to pull the water hose out and everything. And I hadn't done it in a couple days. My wife reminded me that it's going to get kind of hot. Maybe you should water the grass. So I figured I better do it this morning. You do that, or you do it late at night. But doing it late at night means you get mosquitoes biting you all over, and I don't want to do that. So morning it is. I got some good information that the guitar that I had ordered to replace the other guitar that I sewed is coming in on Friday. Yeah, this one's coming in UPS. Signature required by end of day 7 p.m. which means you got to hang around, but I'm hanging around anyways because another e-bike, supposedly from FedEx on this one, will be coming in on Friday as well. Now here's an interesting thing with that bike coming in. I should probably program my GPS. Yeah, I should pull over and program the GPS. But anyways, the interesting thing, it has a time frame for that particular FedEx delivery of the same basic time frame when they delivered my bike earlier, the other bike that came in. It came in actually, around 10 something in the morning. So since it's the same time frame, does that basically mean it's going to be the same guy delivering? I have a feeling it might. Hold on a second. Directions to Portillo's in Rolling Meadows. I always use Portillo's and Rolling Meadows because it's right across from the entrance of Busse Woods. Let's see if I can get the volume up on this thing. Oops, can't do that. Let me cancel this navigation here. I forgot to tell it that I want to do it as a bicycle. They're giving me the option to, no, directions to Portillo's in Rolling Meadows.
Getting directions to Portillo's.
Yeah, if you don't tell it that you're on a bicycle, it's going to give you driving directions. We don't want to do that. Driving directions will get you different types of roads that you may not want to do. Okay. So anyway, what were we talking about? See, I tell you, you lose your train of thought. Okay, so it gave me a time zone of, I think, something like 9:20 to 2:20 or something. When it gives me that, I have a feeling it's another guy who gets that bike to deliver to you. And if that's the case, I should get that early. However, if it says something like 9 to 2:59 or something like that, whatever the time is, it comes at like 7 o'clock at night. So we'll see. It'll be a good test to find out if I can kind of rely strictly on the time zones that they give me, if that will actually tell me when the bike will really arrive. So I'm kind of stuck inside all day Friday. Now, to get a video out for Saturday, keep onto the shared path. Oh, I see what it wants me to do. It wants me to go up on the sidewalk over there. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'll keep going straight. So, either that, or maybe it wants me to turn. I don't think it wants you to turn. I think it wants you to go straight up. Yeah, forget it. I'm going forward. So, I'm stuck in the side all day Friday, which means I have to record 2 videos today in order to get you a video for Saturday. So, Busse Woods might be split in 2. I usually stop Busse Woods after a certain amount of time, but maybe I'll just keep running. Hopefully we'll have enough information to give you that'll make it interesting for both videos. Now, as you know, we passed the Chinese carryout on the way home from Busse Woods. Should we do it or should we not? All right, we're gonna get fat shamed for it again? No fat shaming. Shouldn't eat that stuff. You get better stuff to eat. Yeah, I know, but I'm Chinese, okay? I want my Chinese food. The weird part is usually when I order some of the Chinese food, sometimes I order what I consider Americanized Chinese food. In other words, it's not always the best stuff, and it's not authentic Chinese food. It's just what Chinese restaurants have figured out might be the type of food that Americans might be more interested in. Yeah, so it's usually fried and all that stuff. Maybe I won't do that. Yeah, I could do something like Kung Pao beef or something like that, which is a little bit healthier for you. We'll see. I might do it, I might not. We'll see how we go. All right, this thing wants me to take a right on Oakton, which is here. Gotta make sure there's no cars, and there's not, so we'll turn. And so, so I might do that. We'll see. We'll see how the timing is. They do open at 11, which means they open in 7 minutes. So it's not like I can't do it, but we'll see how hungry we are. So the Deere 20 has the ability to go about 30 miles an hour if I really let this thing go, and as long as you have a fully charged battery. We're at 44% on the battery right now, so we know it's going to die while we're at Busse. We already know that. Then I'll have to switch out the battery, but we'll be competing with some cars here on New Wilkie Road. So I might let loose, and once I let loose, go a little faster, this is going to eat up even more battery. So I don't know. We'll see how we go. But having the second battery is always the thing that gives you the peace of mind. This is why I tell people maybe you really should consider a secondary battery if you go distance like I do. I usually don't. That was an attempt to a rolling stop. I usually go relatively quickly, and so that eats my battery up a lot more. Plus the weight, you know, you got my weight, and now you've got the secondary battery weight, and then you got all the tools and weight. The battery's probably over 10 pounds, 10 something pounds, I'm sure. And then, I would say I have an extra 25 pounds on here because of all the stuff I'm carrying besides myself, and I'm pretty heavy. I can smell a skunk. You can always tell a skunk. Not good. Alright, now it wants me to take a turn on Northwest Highway. We're not doing that. We're already on New Wilkie Road. If I take New Wilkie Road all the way down, we run into the Portillos. So we're not going to do what it's asking me to do. You know, to our right is, let me move over here, is Arlington Race Track. I don't know if you can see, but far off in the end over there, that's what used to be the grandstand when people would sit there and watch the horse races. That's being torn down because they expect that the Chicago Bears are going to be moving into this area. Yeah, it's probably too far for GoPro to see it well, but yeah, that thing's really ripped apart. I don't go to the horse races, but I have gone there several times with my photography school, where I was taking students out there so we can practice photographing the horses as they were racing. Do a technique called panning. So what happens is you follow along with the horse and you keep moving your camera. The horse will look like it's stationary. You'll see its legs kind of blur, but the background will look totally blurred, but the horse will look totally in focus. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes a little bit of practice to get that to work. So I've taken a number of my photography classes there so that they can practice that. Alright, so now we've got cars behind me. I am taking the lane. So in other words, I'm not forcing myself to the edge of that curve. I am 1/3 into the lane, so the guy behind me, he has no choice but to pass me to the left. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. Okay? The thing is, if you go too far to the right, you get pushed into the curb. Not if you don't give them the opportunity to do that. If you take the lane, I stay mostly towards the right, but about 1/3 of the right side, they have no choice but to pass to the left on the left lane. That's what you want them to do. You don't want them to squeeze you. I mean, if you went right up to the right edge, they will squeeze you further into the right edge. So don't ever do that. Force them to make the move if they want to pass. But this is where, you know, if you ride a little bit faster on roads like this, you're actually safer. You don't impede the traffic as much, and you're more accepted being on the road taking that 1/3 of the lane. I mean, if you were going at 10 miles an hour and you're taking 1/3 of the lane, I don't think the drivers would be too happy. They're not happy in the fact that you do it when I'm going 20 something miles an hour. So I just recently saw a video from ebikeschool.com. Micah does a thing where he talks about riding on the street. Now, the one thing I thought was a little weird about that one, he's weaving in and out of traffic. But he's in Tel Aviv right now doing that video, and that's an accepted thing to do. Well, that would be hard to do here in the United States, although I know in New York some of those bike delivery guys do that. But around here, if we did that, we would be in big trouble. Cars aren't used to it. Cops won't like it. So, and he mentions that, you know, it's accepted over there, but it may not be accepted where you are. So if you watch that video, it's a fairly recent video. Just know that in here in the United States, I don't suggest you do that. He says that too. He doesn't suggest you do it. It's kind of accepted practice there, but man, that's kind of dangerous. But he mentioned the same thing too, is to take the lane, okay? Take the lane and force the guy to move over to the left lane if he wants to pass, and not to get too close to the edge. I mean, if you're right up to the edge over here, they'll just push you further into the edge. You don't want that to happen. All right, so now up ahead, we have guys cutting the grass. They're eating up the entire lane here with their truck. I have to move into the next lane. There's no cars behind me, so I'm lucky. All right. There's always hazards like that. You always have to keep your eyes open for what's coming up ahead of you. And a lot of this stuff is instinctive. If you drive a car, you kind of know. You have to deal with stuff like this too. Now I have taken different roads to get to Busse Woods, but this taking the entire New Wilkie Road is a little bit tougher. I don't suggest you do this unless you're used to riding the streets. This is, right now it's not so bad because people are probably more at work than anything else, so there's less cars on the road. But the average person, as they start out, this would not be something that you want to do. It's not the type of roads I prefer to do. Now our battery's down to 38% under load as we're pushing. We're doing 28.4 miles an hour. So we're going at a pretty decent clip. We're not slow for sure. I did notice too that a number of folks had mentioned that you know, that when they do 12 miles an hour, they feel like they're going really fast. Yeah, it depends on what you're used to, I guess. You know, for me, since I've done it so much now, I can do 28 miles an hour and feel comfortable with it. You go at the pace that you feel comfortable, okay? Don't go because I go fast means you gotta go fast. Go at the pace that you feel comfortable. All right, we're down to 30%. We will definitely be changing that battery. Yeah, we'll see how far we can go before we exhaust it. Okay, the Chinese carryout is to our right-hand side here. It's called Chopstick. It's not the best, I'll tell you, it really isn't. But prices are decent, it's convenient. I've gone there a number of times, so hey, it is what it is. We'll see if we come back and do it or not. Now, because we have traffic in front of us, that's gonna trigger the light for us once it becomes our turn to go. Yeah, here in Illinois, and I don't know where in other areas, sometimes oncoming traffic has longer green lights than you do. Okay, let's see. Let's get moving here. Yeah, this road is definitely eating into my mileage. It's eating into my range. We're down to 30%. But like I said, I'm doing its maximum speed. It will go 30 if you're on flat land, and if you're not carrying as much weight as I'm carrying right now. But we're doing 27 miles, 28 miles an hour, so that's still pretty fast. And of course, as a class 3 operation, it should only really give you 28, but I've done 30 on it. I think many others have done 30 as well, because some reports on other videos I've seen have reported about a 30 mile an hour range as well. It is the king of the hill. It goes over hills better than any of the other bikes I have. Currently, that is. You know, depending on when you watch this video, I mean, down the road, I might be getting another bike that might do better. But right now, it does the hill test better than any of the other bikes. So it's got a powerful motor. 96 Newton meters of torque is its rating. 750 watt motor that peaks out at 1100 watts. Now we are cruise controlling right now. We're down to 28%. I think once we get into Busse Woods, we'll have to swap the battery at that point. And you notice all the cars are to the left of me is because as they try to pass me, they have to go into the left lane. That is really your safest bet. So yeah, anyway, if you watch that video about how to ride on the streets, it is interesting. I think it's worth watching. I want to go up on the sidewalk. I want to make sure that this guy stays where he's at. And the reason I go up on the sidewalk is because I want to hit that crosswalk button. And to do that, you got to be up on the sidewalk to get to it. It's always a tight turn here, though. So I usually don't cut the curve, and I just kind of go up the grass a little bit to get to this.
Then turn right.
All right. I think a lot of the bike riders do the same. Is they come up here because this is actually their standard crosswalk for pedestrians. They come up here and they hit the button. This road that we're in front of is Scoff Road. This is one that you definitely do not want to be riding on if you could avoid it. So crossing it, of course, is just as bad because the cars go so fast. All right.
Turn right.
All right, so I can get rid of this map now because
Proceed to the
I can't always do it. Let me let me stop and do it. Let's see. End route. Get rid of the map. There we go. Yeah, sometimes I can't get rid of it while I'm riding for some reason. It just doesn't ever seem to want to move out of the way. I gave him the head nod, he gave me the wave. So anyway, we'll head off to Busse. Yeah, we're down to 29%. Now I'm going to keep it running for a while. And then I'm going to fully charge it up when it's done. I need to have full batteries when I do the bike to drive. So I'm going to charge up all the bikes, all the batteries, make sure they're fully 100% charged before we go. And I'm not going to plug them into the bikes, so hopefully it'll keep it from discharging as easily. To duck a little bit there. Busse Woods gets its fair share of bike riders. A lot of them are what we might call the spandex group. Yeah, they go kind of fast. Yeah, so gotta be careful. And then you got the others who aren't, and you know, they kind of go kind of slow. And then you got walkers and rollerbladers. All sorts of people are on this path. All right, time for a drink of water. Always stay hydrated. Cramp up if you don't. I haven't really been pedaling much, so I probably wouldn't anyway, but if you're pedaling, stay hydrated. Well, you should stay hydrated anyway. You know, I just do a lot of talking, so I'm always dried out. Now, the problem with this one, you notice I veer off a little bit. Getting that bottle back in that water bottle cage is kind of tough. It hangs a little further down than I'm used to on this rack, on the front basket rack. So yeah, we've had some weird weather this year. You know, we had cool weather for the last couple of days. It's going to go into 95 degrees by Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it's been very unpredictable from week to week. I usually look at the weather reports days in advance just to know what's coming up, so I can kind of plan my rides and when I should go out and when I can't go out. Then I look daily. I look at the hourly report. I want to find out what time do I get about 70 degrees because that's my ideal riding temperature. I mean, that's when you're not sweating. It's a nice cool breeze hitting you. To me, that's the enjoyable part of the bike ride. But sometimes you can't avoid it. Sometimes you're going to hit hot weather. But if I got an option, I'm taking the cooler weather. So, looks like they cut the grass here. You know, they don't pick up the grass because it's just too much to pick up. So it looks like it's got a whole bunch of glass clippings down on the grass, but everything's mowed down over here. All right, we're at 24%. We're gonna bring it further down. Not gonna kill it though. I'll bring it down to, let's bring it down to just a little bit below 20%. You don't want to really ever bring a battery all the way down. I've done that before because I'm doing range tests for you guys, but in general, you don't really want to do that. And since I do have the second battery, there's no reason to do that, but I'll get a little bit more mileage out of it first. Busse has a speed limit of 15 miles an hour. Most people break that. But if you want to maintain what it says, it should be 15 miles and under. That would be about, okay, it's hard to hit it. I mean, sometimes you go over by a mile or two. This would be about 15 miles an hour, roughly, something like this. It's dropping. Can't maintain it, too hard. And this is why you can accidentally go over or under, because it is hard to maintain speed limit. And I guess if your cruise control was set for it, I wish there was a way that you can just type in the speed you want, you know, instead of having to hold your throttle down to a certain level and then wait 8 seconds. Wouldn't it be cool to just go on your display, touch screen, type in 15 and let it go? And then a resume function, that would be nice. Yeah, Magicycle, if you're watching, talk to the engineers. A resume function where if you tap the brakes because you got to slow down, but you want to go right back to that previous level, to be able to just like twist the throttle and it'll go right back to that level. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, I got it as close as I can. We're about 14.4, 14.5 miles an hour on cruise control. But yeah, resume would be nice. Go back to the level that you were previously. Otherwise, you have to hold it again for 8 seconds. That's kind of a hassle. Yeah, there you go. 15 minutes speed limit. 15 miles. 15 miles per hour speed limit. 15 minutes. Yeah, you could only stay on here for 15 minutes. No, 15 mile per hour speed limits. Snowmobiles prohibited. That's what they're talking about as far as motorized vehicles, okay? Snowmobiles, motorcycles, dirt bikes, motorized dirt bikes, that type of stuff. That's not what they want on here. Those are loud too, by the way. There's a guy who rides around the general area where we go who has a dirt bike, and when he has that thing running, it's like, I mean, it's loud. It's louder than a Harley. I mean, you could hear that thing all over the place. That's what they don't want out here. Okay. Yeah, now being on a cruise control at 15 miles an hour roughly, yeah, it's easy now, right? The thing is if you want to stay on cruise control, pedal backwards. Yeah, if you pedal forward, it cancels your cruise control. Because, I mean, you don't want to keep your legs in the same position forever, so you have to move your legs somehow. Pedal backwards a little bit. That'll keep your legs moving around a little bit, and it doesn't cancel you out. So the Deer 20, yeah, well, this has full suspension, so as you hit bumps, you do tend to bounce a little bit. Not hard bouncing, but you know, you do feel that it actually absorbs some of the shock for you. You got front shock too. A lot of bikes have front fork shocks. Suspension, if you want to call it suspension. Yeah, to me, this seems really slow. 15 miles an hour seems kind of slow to me, but yeah, I know some of you guys, you know, this was fast to you, so. All right, we usually go right. Let's go left this time. We'll go the opposite direction. To cancel my 15 mile an hour. See, this is where the resume function would be nice. I had to slow down a little bit to make the turn, but now I got to hold this again for 8 seconds to kick it in again. I'm trying to keep the cruise control in there because I want to, yeah, I'm veering a little bit, so I'm not able to do it. All right, well, whatever. I was trying to use it because it conserves my battery, and like I said, I want to bring it down to just under 20%, and then I'll swap the battery out. Guy had a folding bike. I wonder if that's one of those Bromptons. Is that what it's called? I don't know. Couldn't see it well enough. Can't tell. Now that would be a lightweight folding bike. Our folding bikes tend to be a little heavy. All right, well, we're at 17 miles an hour. Well, it's the best I can do, sorry. We're 2 miles an hour over the speed limit. I'm a criminal. I think that was the best comment. You're a criminal. No, you might be a speed limit breaker. I wouldn't put that into criminal law. All right, still going. When we finally change the battery out, that's when I'll call it quits for this video, and we'll continue on with the second video for more information of things going on. And we got 2% more. Keep you going for a while. I recently saw a video about Busse Woods from another bike rider, not an e-bike rider, just a regular bike rider. And apparently he had his GoPro on his helmet. You don't see his handlebars or anything. All you see is just the ride going forward. this is a popular path. As you see, there are a number of people on bikes here, and I always wanted to do it, but I never could with my bad knee. Could never take my bike out here. But I did it when I got the e-bike. But like I said, those who do come out here, just be aware that sometimes some of the riders can be a little vocal. Hey, I got a bike out of it. Area 13 gave me a bike because of that. But yeah, just be aware that some of them don't like e-bikes. But we are perfectly allowed to be here. Says it in the rules and regulations of the forest preserves. Yeah, here's a guy on rollerblades. Yeah, you got a little of everything. Okay, we're at 20%. I will find a nice place to pull over and change out my battery. See, I don't want to do it in the middle of the bike path here. I want to find an area where I can just pull off a little bit and do it. So not in this area. I mean, it'd be nice to be in the shade, but I don't want people running into me. Of course, the interesting thing is I am lit up like a Christmas tree here. Got a yellow bike. I got an orange vest on. It says share the trail, bike, walking, and handicapped people. Speed limit 15. See, there you go. All right. Well, we'll keep going until we have a good opening. Yeah, it's down to 18% now. It's starting to drop. There's got to be an opening here somewhere, like maybe a parking lot area or something that I can pull into. In the meantime, the battery goes further down. All right, I may have no choice because I can't find any place. Definitely not going to do it on a curve. Guy makes a turn and slams right into you. That would not be good. Anything else coming up? It doesn't look like it. Down to 17%. I know that this thing can go down to at least 12%. Maybe more. Trip says 10.4 miles we've done since I reset the trip meter. Nothing. Oh, there's some cars there. Okay, I'm gonna pull off here where there's a parking lot area. Swap out the battery. Show you the bike too at the same time. How's that? We don't do that often enough. All right, we're gonna pull off over here. And let's go over here by some shade. Might as well do it while it's comfy in the shade. All right, let's put the kickstand down. It's rolling by itself here. Let me show you the bike. So this is what we got at this point. You see I have my box. That's where the second battery is. Got the tools over there. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna say our goodbyes now. Hey, stay tuned for Saturday's video. Watch that one. There'll be a continuation of this ride. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys next time.